Now, I want to switch gears and talk about some of the stuff you've done outside of the ring, outside of wrestling. What kinds of things have you done to make a difference in your community, whether it's volunteering for like animal shelters or donating food to food banks or visiting hospitals? Has there been something over the years that you have been involved with?
I got, four sons, five grandkids. So my time is donated. I'm busy taking care of and helping out the family. A couple of them have a tough time. I'll help them out. One's
Well,
rent goes up for no reason. So
well,
I'm
let's
really kind of busy with the family.
Well, let's talk about raising your family and helping them out because I think that's important. Family is
Well, that is.
essential, and I think being there
Yeah.
for them is extremely important. Talk to me about that. Because that
Well,
that
I'm proud of them all because they're all working hard. None of them have gotten into the stupid drug culture thing. One's got three grandkids, one's got two grandkids, one's got one grandkid. My one, two, my third son, John, he's uh he's in the Air Force and he's stationed on Air Force Two. I really enjoy, helping out the kids and making sure they do good. If they need a hand, I'm there to help them. And I'm proud of them all because, like I said, none of them went away into the drug world or the stupid nonsense. They all got jobs and doing a great job with the grandkids.
well, let's
And it's a
talk.
full time job.
I mean, it's a lot of work. Being
Yeah.
able to take care of so many people. You're helping them, making a difference in their life because they need that parental guardian father figure in their life to be
Yeah.
able
I
to
mean,
grow
a
up in a
good
world.
example. So put it, and I mean, I've done some things like I donated to State Troopers Fund. I donated to one.
Well, let's talk about an example of a moment that was very heartwarming and a touching moment where you're able to help out one of your kids that made you go, man, this was really what humanity means to me.
Well, you're getting deep in the soul here, Stan. Um, I'm thinking, but I mean, it's worked out kind of good for me because I was always there to be there. I mean, it wasn't like any of my kids had a tough time, or like I said, they weren't in drug counseling, they weren't locked up, they didn't do crime. There was, and they all had their own idea. I mean, I kind of lucked out in terms of that, but I was a good influence and a good father, and they grew up knowing what's good and what's bad and what's horrible and stupid. Because it's a parent's job with the kids, really, to get them there. And once they get there, hopefully you really shouldn't have to put a lot of time into them because once they're grown up and they got their kids, they're their own men. You know.
Yeah, I mean what's that saying? It takes a lot to raise a village.
Yeah. So I wish I could tell you some great things I've done, but I've been lucky and us I have a few bucks here and there with some rent help or this or that. And I really, haven't needed to save the day or have one of my kids in rehab or
Well, you've
you
been
know
a you've been a positive influence, I'm sure, like being able to uh, be there for one of your kids if they're going through a hard time. I don't know if your kids were ever like big, sports fans. Were you ever there like, Little League or I'm sure like were
oh
you
yeah,
able.
well, a couple of them. Well, one was into little league, one was into soccer big time. The Air Force guy, John. Tim was into football a little bit, but and he didn't.
Did you
Mike was into
coach? Did
to
you do any
golf.
kind of, training or help them kind of guide them along whenever they were going through something?
Well, I'd give them advice, when they needed it. And but I really can't put my finger. I mean, it was never like a disaster, but they were raised right, and they listened to their teachers. They listened to like their baseball coach. They listened to their soccer coach, and I'd be there to support them. And I was just always there for them, and they knew I'd be there. But they became their own. And once they hit 16, and they go, "Hey, Dad, can you help me out getting a new, my first car?" They're on, they're going on their own way, and they should already have in their mind what's right and wrong. And if you do it this way, you're going to have a good life. If you do it that way, you're going to wind up in the street, wind up in jail, wind up in the hospital or the graveyard. You know how many young wrestlers I knew that were great that are now dead, from like Eddie Guerrero and Kurt Hennig and some other guys,
There's so
to
many.
stupid drugs. It's way too many. It's too bad.
Well, I think it's important, when you're there for someone, that you want to make sure that they're living life the way it's supposed to be. You want to stay away from all the bad stuff. It's good to have a parental figure there to guide them along. And kudos to
Yeah.
you,
And I
for
think, I mean, a lot of kids that are having problems come from a fatherless home, or I guess there's probably more women, more kids without fathers than without mothers. But, but I was lucky, and I always did good in the business. So I was always able to take care of family. We always had a decent place to live, and they went to good schools, and I worked my butt off to make sure that everything went to my family.